I wish you a great afternoon, and to all the mums, happy Mother's Day.
Alrighty, bear with me, we're nearly done. Good afternoon, friends, dignitaries, and our very special guests. I have to say, every single year, this day is amazing. The warmth in this room is always amazing. The cause that we are all here for is amazing. You should all feel really amazing. The work that we do with your support and your link to our cause keeps us motivated to do more for you each year. Thank you to the Friends of Gidget. Thank you to the Gidget Sisterhood. This year I'm experiencing this very special day as Chairperson of the Gidget Foundation, a role that I took up late last year when VJ announced his retirement from the board. VJ, we were so lucky to have him at the helm for such a long period of time. I would like to take this opportunity to thank him from the bottom of my heart for his enduring commitment to raising awareness of perinatal anxiety and depression, and for working tirelessly for our foundation. And thank you to our inspiring and empowering guest speaker, Julie Bishop, the Honourable Julie Bishop. And while we're talking about wonderful people, the Deputy Premier, John Barilaro, and his wife, Deanna, thank you for your genuine support and your open and honesty. John's personal connection with our cause and his dedication to help us has provided us with $3 million on behalf of the government. We will use that funding to support new mums and new dads across the state suffering from perinatal depression and anxiety. And just so you know, Arabella just gave me a cheque from Vanessa Walker, who has donated $20,000 today. Thank you, Vanessa. So, John, as a girl from Guyra in regional New South Wales, a town of about 600 kilometres from where I'm standing now, I am passionate about reaching and supporting more mums and dads, no matter where they are or what their personal circumstances are. We will use this funding to grow and evolve and to do really different things. This funding will help us to expand into regional areas and to continue to work to support new parents. We will work tirelessly and we will continue to try to save lives and ensure people find the support that they need. The Gidget Foundation wants everyone to get better. Everyone. Needless to say, I'm fiercely proud and extremely honoured to be chair of the Gidget Foundation and to work alongside some really amazing people. We have a dedicated board, wonderful founding committee, selfless volunteers, capable psychologists, amazing staff, and what about Arabella Gibson, our amazing CEO? So my link to the cause isn't something that I openly discuss, so bear with me while I do in front of 1,500 of you. To set the scene, I'm from country New South Wales, humble beginnings. I've had to work hard. I've had to dig deep, lean in, and step up. Every opportunity that has come my way, I have taken. I powered through life with each and every opportunity since my 20s, while suffering from severe clinical depression and anxiety. Anxiety, in the forms of pins and needles all over my body, at its extreme, with just a touch of lightheadedness, sweat dripping down my back, and difficulty breathing normally. I've learnt to strengthen my mind over the decades, and I now control that. I'm proud of it. The depression, however, is a showstopper. It has a tendency to reoccur when I least expect it. It can range from feeling lonely on a day like today, in a room full of people, to just wanting to go to sleep and just never wake up. But I mask it. I'm actually confident that masking it could be defined as a talent. I didn't actually do it alone though. I've just recently come off medication and stopped seeing psychologists and psychiatrists to help me. And on those days when my blood feels thick and the lonely birds come to nest and I just can't be kind to myself, I try just to breathe. And oddly enough, I think of my family. My family have saved me from myself. Unfortunately though, before my family could save me, and although I was on already a very high dose of medication, regularly seeing a psychologist who actually warned me over a 6-year period to slow down, I pushed myself too far. And on the 2nd of April 2009, at the ripe old age of 33, after someone at work spoke to me the way that no one should be spoken to, I broke. I don't have very many memories of this time, but I do remember asking the person not to speak to me that way, getting up and leaving the room, whilst snorting uncontrollably. Yep, I was snorting. I found a meeting room, I closed the door and my legs gave way, feeling like my body was being crushed under something like the weight of a Mack truck. I was due to attend a board meeting in 30 minutes' time. I didn't make it. I did manage to crawl to the meeting room phone and I dialed the extension of a colleague, Jenny McKinley. She didn't hear anything on the end of the phone other than snorting. I wonder what she thought. She came straight to the room and she tried to help, but very quickly we worked out that I wasn't getting out of that room and the snorting, unfortunately, was just not stopping. An hour later, my husband carried me out of that building. My mind and my body completely shut down. The rubber band had snapped. I stretched it too far. It hurt to breathe. It hurt to be. The pain that I felt inside my mind and my body, I can't describe to you. And when that snorting stopped, I couldn't speak. I didn't say a word for a week. The only time I wasn't hurting and in pain was when I was asleep. I was so sick. It took me about 5 months of sick leave to get back to a place where I could face reality again. I quit that damn job and I started a new one. Of course, my psychologist was right when she told me I should take more time to recover, but I didn't. And of course, I was nowhere near ready to start working again, let alone to just start a little bit of IVF. So there I was in my 30s, happily married for 5 years, a couple of years into this new job and convincing myself that I could juggle the many specialist visits, the sometimes daily blood tests, the suppositories, they're fun, the needles, the medicine hidden in the back of the fridge at work, the bruises on your tummy, the ones on your arms, and then of course there's that hormone overload. Now that tested my talents in masking. Those hormones are strong. Warning bells from my psychologist again. She suggested we better increase the medication. That time I actually listened. We just discussed the pros and cons. I went to Mothersafe and we decided that actually it was much more important for me to be okay and we'd work with what the impact was on the baby later. Don't really like babies, by the way. Not a fan. So when I got the call from the when I got the call from that nurse, oh hi darling, they always are so lovely. She told me I was pregnant, and I felt satisfied. I did what I set out to do. I wasn't excited. I wasn't happy. And turns out that was probably the right reaction because being pregnant is terrible. I hated it. Yet, I felt sick, tired, and then you have society. They're also happy that you're pregnant. everyone wants to be happy around you, and they all want to talk about it for 9 months. The more the pregnancy went on, the more I hated it, and the more I had this sense of overwhelming guilt. Hadn't I wanted this? Wasn't this what I set out to do? What's wrong with me? Why was this not right? Why was I not conforming to what society expected of me? And if I had it bad now and the baby was still inside me, according to society, I was a goner. What had I done? So, 6 attempts IVF, Amelia was born in 2011. Safely delivered into the world by none other than Dr. VJ Roach. She ruined me physically, ruined me. And so based on that mental and physical trauma I experienced being pregnant, I had zero expectations of enjoying this motherhood thing, and it didn't surprise me really that I actually couldn't love her. But it did make me feel like a real failure. And so when I just could not hold her or be with her, or when I was feeling overwhelmingly sad, I would just tell her that I was sorry. Mummy's so sorry. Mummy's so sorry. I will be here for you. I promise I will be here for you. I would tell her as if I was making a contract to myself, because I knew from the deepest part of my soul that she was born to teach me how to be a better human. And that girl does, every single day. And so, I did it again, IVF. I survived after 5 attempts this time, so my stats are getting better. Bianca was born in 2013, safely delivered into the world by VJ. She was from the same batch of embryos that I had frozen in 2010 as Amelia. It felt like I'd had another Amelia, except the complete opposite behaviour-wise. I had the same mental and physical trauma, so I increased my medication. I had to. I had no expectations of loving her when she was born, and I didn't love her the way that I was supposed to or society told me. This time I didn't feel so bad. But I chose not to go to mother's group this time because I just couldn't bear to compare myself to others who I thought were better than me. And it was really not possible for me to feel much worse about myself, other than I used to watch the other mothers who'd let the baby fall asleep on their chest. Just couldn't do that. I feel like I missed out. But anyway, that was it. No more babies. Done. I had now my family in place. I had the contract that I'd given to myself, and I had 2 very good reasons to wake up every day. The one thing I didn't factor in though was that the batch of embryos from 2010. There were still 3 left. And as the girls grew up, they taught me more. I evolved as a human. We worked through things. I used to get the invoice every 6 months, and those embryos were still sitting in the freezer. How could I choose to leave them there? What if there were more Amelia and Biancas in there? And so in 2017, in the middle of a renovation, whilst living with my in-laws, I said to Sean, I want to have another IVF baby, please. Because I had 3 embryos left. The odds were against me, of course, so I harvested 24 more. 2 survived. This time the hormones were stronger. The embryos had been frozen for 7 years, and my husband was there to support me. And I did it again. Charlton was born in July last year. He was 10 months old yesterday. Pregnancy was much harder. Delivery was much faster. Recovery was harder. And the mothers group that I joined, I've got 4 of them here today, know that I had mastitis 5 times in 6 weeks. Of course, I didn't hold him as much as I should have. He didn't fall asleep on my chest. Some days are still very hard. But to finish up, I wanted to take the time to reflect on why we're all here. Each and every one of us has a story, or we know somebody that has a story. We all have a link to Gidget. We all have a link to the Gidget Foundation's cause. So please do not think for a second that we have scratched the surface in addressing distress in new parents. Please do not think, just because the Gidget Foundation has received increased government and corporate support, that we do not need your help. The government and corporate funding will help us with new programs and initiatives. We have things to do with the stuff we've started. I personally lie awake at night. I worry about those parents right then and there that need help. I worry about them. We need to be in a position to provide enough Gidget houses, enough Gidget psychologists, and enough people to help others when they need it. Your support as our Gidget friends ensures we can continue to provide our existing programs, the ones that you guys help us to set up. So, let me close the day by acknowledging that Sunday is Mother's Day. I acknowledge those of you who have been, wanted to be a mother. And those of you who will not have a chance to celebrate with your mum or a close motherly figure this Sunday. Thank you to our wonderful volunteers, and especially to Libby and the founding committee for making this day another roaring success. Hakuna Matata.
Wow, Cara, what a powerful, powerful speech. Having children is not a fairy tale, is it? It's not some kind of fluffy dream. It can be more like you're in a horror movie sometimes, and we need to share those stories. I really appreciate Cara's speech today, because if we don't speak up, then how can we support each other when we need help? So thank you very much. Everybody, another round of applause to the wonderful Cara Nicholls. Okay, it's time to draw the raffles. I've brought my specs. I can't actually see you right now. It kind of helps sometimes, but now I need to know who won. Could I please invite Janie Simpson from ABC Bullion? They've donated our amazing bracelets over the years, and she's going to help us draw the raffle.